And there it is. It's happened again. We're back with this, once again, lagging out of Tier 2. I mean, not just Tier 2, but just lagging out of the lobby for commentary. You love to see it. We'll be back very shortly. Just once again, I guess, game difficulties. Alright, well, we go from the fastest street circuit in the world to a still pretty fast racetrack nonetheless. My co-commentator has already left me. Lovely. I'll try and get it back in as soon as possible. But nonetheless, we arrive here to the Australian Grand Prix. Hello, welcome everyone to the Tier 2 Championship for Round 3. And we arrived at Melbourne. Now, Australia, you got 14 corners that make up this track and 2 DRS zones. One going into turn 1, one going into turn 3, and the other one going into turn 11. And this track, since the last time we've raced here, which was 2 seasons ago from Season 7, well, it's Season 9 now, this track has undergone a lot of changes, which you will notice pretty quickly. Now, let's quickly go over to the Drivers' Championship while we're still here, and as of right now, it is currently Ron Swanson in the McLaren that leads the championship with 37 points, just 12 over the Ferrari of Veyron, who has shown up this week, because he did not show up last week. Well, he is back, so he's going to want to try and retake that. Blacks is in third after grabbing a podium last week in Saudi Arabia, tied with CSR Bullet, in which both drivers, I believe, are here, and, well, I can confirm, yes, they are. Potato Line is in 5th in the drivers, alongside Charlos, both 15 points respectively, so I guess you could say 3rd and 4th are tied, 5th and 6th are tied, which is a bit weird, but that it is what it is. And then going over to 7th place, we got No Limit in the other McLaren with 14 points, tied with Zach the Beast. And, of course, both are here as well. Skeppy is in 9th with 12 points after grabbing a very lovely P4 for Alfa Romeo in Saudi Arabia, with Vo rounding out the top 10 with 9 points, respectively. Let's go over to the Teams Championship, but I actually don't know. They were not updated, so never mind that. So We'll move on from that. Now, my name is Minico, and alongside me, once again, is Redeemer for Tier 2. And, well, we've already seen a few races here in Australia, and, well, needless to say, it's caused quite a bit of chaos. What do you expect Tier 2 is going to give us? Do we expect possibly more chaos, or do you expect a little bit more of a tame one?
Both.
Good answer.
That's all I need to say, really. Yeah, no, you know, obviously Thursday night with you and I both racing in Realistic, which was a complete, we're just gonna explain that one. And then Tier 3, obviously having multiple lobby issues, our note goes P2 by 200th of a second, or no, 100th of a second, excuse me. And then, obviously, Tier 1, and there goes Voj, P1. Why did Ardell send me a message? Rain and race. Okay, good to know. I figured I knew that already.
Ooh, that's a bit tasty.
It's Tier 3 all over again.
Pretty much, and he's just messaged me as well. Okay, well, he's letting us know here in the booth that we're gonna have a bit of a rain race, so that's definitely gonna jumble up the order a little bit. But nonetheless, continue on with what you were saying.
But yeah, this track is it's difficult. I mean, the new layout, you know, we're expecting some dry running as No Limit goes P1 with an 18.3. Why did Johan Mora message me now? Oh, Anyways, yeah, it can be chaotic, especially that quick left-right chicane. If you get that wrong, you could see yourself in the barriers. And then the new 90-degree corner, which I believe it is turn 13, which can be a bit tricky to handle and take as well. So it's going to be interesting to see on how well these drivers really take this track and the new layout that they have available to them.
That's going to be a bit tricky because, as it has proven, this track is going to be very difficult to negotiate quite consistently. And we nearly had a bit of a moment here in qualifying between Skeppy and the Mercedes of, I believe, Zach the Beast. They had a near-on collision at the final corner.
Oh, no, that was Solar.
But luckily, nothing happened. What has happened to Solar? Oh, he's into the pits. I saw a yellow flag in Sector 3.
I think he been in the pit lane.
Oh, that's not ideal. Nonetheless, though, he's still here in qualifying, so he is good to go nonetheless. So far, we've already got 10 drivers that have currently set a lap time, and obviously 11th down, that being Bad Bunny, Johan Laura, Blacks, Solar, Ron Swanson, Zach the Beast, and Wingo have yet to set a lap time, but I believe Wingo is currently on one now. Yeah, that is Zach. He has lost his front wing entirely. Gone off at turn 10.
That's that chicane I was talking about. You get that wrong, and it's just bad news. So, as Ron Swanson's
interesting. So he's not going to do any laps here in qualifying as Wingo comes across the line, and he's going to set at 119.8. But I guess Ron just deciding qualifying isn't worth it. I don't know. To be fair, it is a wet race, so anything can happen. We'll just have to see what he can do, but that's probably not what he wanted to do. And looking over to the chat Fridays, saying, how are you going to do George like that? Well, talk to him about that.
Yes.
We'll leave him to it. But, yeah, it was not... I don't think he's trying to impersonate anybody, but I think it's just gone very, very terribly about but he's still in qualifying, so he's still good, so hopefully he can get a lap in. And that's a yellow flag in Sector 2, but I believe everyone's just setting up to do a lap. Speaking of laps, why don't we go on board with Potato here and go for a hot lap? So, care to do the honors here, Redeemer?
I was going to do one with you on more, but we can do Potato if you like. Anyways, going down into the main straight, going into turn 1. It's a nice, little bit of a snap there through turn 2. Now hit the DRS again, powering down into turns number 3. Followed closely by turn number 4. You want to keep it nice and tidy here. There you lose the cut here in 4. 5, you see we gotta go flat. Let's see if there takes the flat. He lifts a little bit. Just about it.
I think with that he's gonna back off, so I believe... Oh no, Johan Laura is also invalidated as well. Everyone really setting a bunch of invalidations. Except for Blacks, so I think is on a lap. Well, Blacks is on a lap, so continue.
But anyways, coming through with Blacks, the new layout here, which got rid of that little chicane, which I hated very, very much, because I could never take it right any time. Coming in through turns 9 and 10, that left-right chicane, which I said, if you get it right, you get it right. If you get it wrong, you get it wrong, and then you can see yourself in the barriers on the right-hand side there. As Potato gets out of the way nicely, coming into turn number 12, I believe it is. Takes it nice and easy coming into 13. Into 14 and 15. Let's see how he negotiates these final 2 corners. Very crucial corners here to get him right. What he does, so hits the DRS once again. Powers to the line. He is going to go E8.
A decent lap there from the Mercedes. He's currently lining up on the third row. Fourth row. Just 100th behind Potato. So very close between those two, in which Potato, I believe, is doing another lap, and indeed he is. So Potato's going to try and improve on his position, in which if he wants to potentially go for pole, he has to improve by pretty much 8/10. Quite a big margin, but anything can happen. Right now, No Limit still at the top of the table, but that can still change, as I believe Vo is coming up soon to cross the line. Same with Bullet. Actually, Bullet's starting another lap, and Ardell also on a lap as well. But we'll see what Vo can do. He's kept it valid through this lap. Let's see where he can put that Ferrari. Currently in the front row. He put it on pole last week in Saudi Arabia in the street circuits of Jeddah. Well, he's gone on to provisional pole now with a 118.0, and that is the Ferrari currently on pole position. And by the way, can I just quickly mention, just looking at it, Ferrari has taken pretty much every single pole position here in Tier 2. Because Veyron took it in Bahrain, Vo took it in Tier 2. Can they do it again?
I don't know. It's going to be... Well, it's a waiting game. You know, there's still 7 some odd minutes, just under 7 minutes left the quality, so we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to wait and see indeed. Right now, Veyron has actually invalidated his lap time a while earlier, so he's back up on his run, but he's got the ERS to do it. Could that be? Yeah, you're right. Skeppy hasn't invalidated on his lap time, and he's going to be the next person to come across the line. Is the Alfa Romeo, and where does he put it up? He puts it up to 4th. So a pretty good lap time there from the Alfa Romeo. He definitely has the pace to be up there.
Ardell's second.
As does everybody else. Yep, Ardell is second. Yeah, good eye there. And yeah, Ardell putting it onto the front row so far with a 118.2. Just over a 10th ahead of No Limit. So the top 3 separated by just over 3/10, I believe. So quite a decent margin, but you can improve quite a bit if you get the lap right. So we'll just have to see who else is able to do that. Right now, a lot of people are just currently in the pits right now, unsurprisingly, trying to set up for their final flying laps.
Sector 1, and he's only improving by 1300s right now.
Maybe he already had the fastest Sector 1. We don't know, but we're going to go with the McLaren through Sector 2, which is pretty much flat. I mean, there's only in reality one corner. By the way, just want to quickly mention he's using the Lando Norris helmet in a McLaren, which is pretty convenient. Oh, and he's just narrowly invalidated that lap at the exit of turn 10.
Turn 10 way too sharp. That's where he invalidated.
He was just trying to extract every little bit of the track, and he just did a little bit too much, went a little bit wide. And yet that is his lap done, and he's going to come right into the pits to, well, start another lap later on onto a fresh set. We'll see if the McLaren can put himself back onto provisional pole. Right now, Carlos is on a lap, and he's already improving by 1.1 seconds. So, Carlos, right now, is on a flyer. And it's only been one sector. Let's see what you can do through the Sector 2 split. 1.1. So very similar. Okay. Zach is retired from the session. So he is not going to improve on his lap time. I'm not sure what Johan Lahr is doing. Oh, that's what he did. Front row there for the Haas. I didn't see that jump. I was too busy looking at the minimap. Nonetheless, though, yeah, the Haas is now going on to the front row, so very good lap time, just narrowly missing out on pole. But watch out for Carlos here, because he apparently is on a good lap, but has he found enough time through Sector 3 to go onto provisional pole? Time to beat the 118.0.
Wow.
Oh, by 2 milliseconds, Carlos is on the provisional pole. That is very, very close between the drivers, but he's put his name on the board. And now he will be on pole, but there is still lots of time left. And, well, I might as well ask the question. Who do you think could potentially get pole here?
Anyone in the top 10.
I think that's a pretty safe option.
Yeah.
I mean, just looking at it, though, from the top 3 are just separated by 300ths.
I mean, I don't know, it's going to be hard to say. No Limit can find time, but is it enough to get the pole? He needs to find at least just under 3/10, or just over 3/10, excuse me.
There's definitely time to find. There is definitely time. We'll just have to see what the McLaren can do. By the way, I don't know if you saw, but Zach has left the session, so we'll try and get him back as soon as possible.
I'm pushing the wrong buttons here.
That's a normality.
No, usually.
That's nothing new from you. I believe, well, there's already quite a few people on that lap, so everyone's already starting to prepare for their final flying laps. which I believe the first person to cross the line is going to be the Alfa Romeo of Cold Carnival, who currently sits 11th with a 119.1, but he's wanting to start in the top 10, especially considering the conditions that may be proposed to us in the race. So we'll see what the Alfa Romeo can do through turns 1 and 2. He's managed to keep it very nice and easy, but also still pushing the limit absolutely. Well, giving absolutely everything. My words are not working with me right now. Anyways, going through the turn 4, making sure you're right. You're very right. They don't. They really don't work with me ever. And he's actually a little bit down now. Is Cold Carnival through Sector 1. He's about a 10th down, so not the improvement that the Alfa Romeo is looking for. But let's see if he's able to find more time in Sector 2 and Sector 3. If he can find time, that is. Sector 2 split. He has improved. He's still a little bit down on his time. He's a purple Sector 2. We'll see if that's true or not. Sun's starting to come out, by the way, so grip might be increased. And Catra's telling me to speak without words.
That's easier said than done.
Do you want me to do sign language? Because I don't think I'll be able to interpret that in commentating. I'm not gonna lie.
I can't English. No, I can't.
Yeah, now your words aren't working.
No, I can't think.
Because we're both of us.
That's it. Call the stream. It's over.
No, I'm not gonna do that. Cold Carnival crosses the line. He only improves up to P9. He does a 118.9, and well, that could definitely be challenged by those further down. So far, everyone just starting to set up their final flying laps. I believe the next person to cross the line is that No Limit. No, he's gonna start his final flying lap. It is contagious. You're absolutely right. It is very contagious.
I blame Catra.
And I've caught a case. Sure, go ahead. Go ahead. The next person to cross the line, I believe, is going to be... Nope, it's not going to be Groggy. That's No Limit. He's completely crashed. No Limit's crashed all the way at turn 3. It looked like he did.
Bro, you good? Hello?
Yeah, yeah, he has, all right. Oh.
Oh, no, he got the grass.
That's not good at all, and that's... Oh, did he?
I think he cut the grass, that little piece of grass that, coming into turn 3. You'll see it on board with Skeppy. A little piece of grass right there. Before the apex on the left.
That is extremely marginal. I'm not so sure about that.
His car was sideways from what I saw, so... Groggy? Good?
Oh, and that's Groggy in the wall. So the mistakes are now starting to come in. They're obviously trying to push it, and it's not exactly going their way. Qualifying is now done, so these are the last laps that we are going to see here in qualifying, which Bad Bunny's going to be the first person to finish their lap time. Where does the AlphaTauri go? Goes up to P10. That could very much be challenged by the likes of Blacks. Nope, Blacks is into the pits, so never mind that. Instead, next person across the line is going to be Johan Laura in the Haas, who's currently going around the final corner. Can he potentially? No, he doesn't. He spins round at the final corner and crashes as a result of it. That's the Haas done.
Whoa,
what about the
Skeppy.
Aston Martin? Yeah, Skeppy's round as well. What about Ardell? Ardell goes on a provisional pole. With a 117.9, Ardell's on pole. Skeppy going into the pit, so his qualifying is done. CSR Bullet, I think he might have had to back off. I'm not entirely sure. Looking over, though, to Solar, the other Red Bull. Can he improve on his position? Skeppy's retired, and that is in the pits. So his qualifying is done. Voa is retired, so he is also done. Solar doesn't improve on his position. Bullet goes into the pits. Veyron, only P7 for the Ferrari. So I think with that might already be qualifying done. Because I think Charlos has backed off, and he has. So, with that is qualifying over. Ardell, the only person to really set a blistering lap time at the end, and it was a blistering lap time good enough for pole position here in Australia.
I want to say something, but I'm not going to.
Do you want to risk yourself in this situation right now?
Depends on what I'm risking.
Your existence. That's your answer.
I mean, I'd like to... Nope, I'm gonna bite my tongue.
Fridays is watching. I'm telling you that.
I know. The new owner is watching.
Anyways, let's go. Very true. Anyways, let's go over to the qualifying results. So it's Ardell on pole position here for Australia. Carlos will line up in P2, just narrowly beating out Vo. Johan Laura will line up 4th ahead of No Limit. Skeppy in 6th with Veyron, Bullet, Cold Carnival, and Bad Bunny rounding out the top 10. Potato, NDT Black, Solar, Wingo, Groggy, the only drivers outside the top 10 to set a lap time. Ron Swanson, the championship leader, and Zach the Beast, not setting a lap time here in qualifying. And also, what do you mean by precious here, Fridays? Hello?
Catcher said it for me, thank you.
Was it precious? I'm genuinely concerned now. You're hiding something.
Just go look at the tier 2 chat. Oh, it's pouring.
Oh, that's what it is. Oh.
It's
yeah, I know it's a movie reference. But like what are you speaking about? Like what exactly? I don't know how Ardell got pole, okay? He just shows up out of nowhere. But nonetheless, he's gotten pole. And that is our first non-Ferrari pole, I guess you could say. And well,
I mean, hang on, it's Aston Martin and pole, right? Who would have thought?
Nobody. The answer is nobody.
Exactly.
But he did it. He did it.
Oh.
That's the point here.
Oh. Okay.
My words kind of messed up a little bit, but he did it. Oh, damn. Okay, I see what's going on in the tier 2 chat. We don't cry. Yes, we don't cry. All this happening in the tier 2 chat, and we are getting ready for the Australian Grand Prix. 5 red lights are on. It's lights out, and away we go. A decent start there from Ardell, and a decent start there from Carlos as well, but I think Ardell might get the best of him. Cuts across the Williams, and he's going to lead into turn 1 from Carlos from No Limit. No Limit getting a good start. Oh, Carlos with a bit of a snap there, and he's going to lose a lot of time, but has managed to keep it on the track. So Carlos manages to hold P2, No Limit P3. He is off the track, but now he's going to dive on the inside of Veyron. There's contact between them. They're both off the track. There's even more contact between Skeppy and Vo. But that might be damage there for Veyron. It might be damage for Johan Laura as well, but it doesn't look to be. So not a good start for them. But looking over near the front is Blacks is trying to look for a move on Skeppy, but Skeppy managing to hold off and will stay in P6 for the time being. Groggy now overtaking Veyron. I believe Veyron definitely has damage. Or does he? I don't know. I don't see any. And oh, there's a lot of people in the wall. That's Wingo in the wall. What has happened to the Williams? He's lost the rear. And already, straight off the bat, that is a virtual safety car on the first lap. I just caught the end of that. He just lost the rear. Just didn't get the traction. And that was it.
Potato? Sir?
I'm not sure. Oh, what's happened to Potato? He's fallen back a little bit. Bad Bunny's missing a front wing, by the way. So I'm not sure what's happened to the AlphaTauri.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But he is entirely missing his front wing.
You know, I was going to say Veyron's missing his front wing too, but it's just the way the Ferrari wing looks.
Yeah, with it just being completely black and carbon fiber.
Yeah.
Yeah, it throws you off a little bit. Same with the Williams, too, if you think about it. But luckily for him, he doesn't have damage. And Catcher, I don't know what you mean by what did who say. Like, what was it me? I don't know. But yeah, a bit of a chaotic start here.
Oh,
Potato
no,
gets a 3-second time penalty. How do you manage that in virtual? Anyways, I believe the virtual safety car might be ending soon. I'm not entirely sure. I wish they could give us the indication. There's quite a bit of a gap though between Ardell and Carlos here. So Ardell getting a really good start off the at the start of this race, and he's already pulled a 1.5-second gap. The race is now resumed. Now again, I want the indication.
I know.
Nonetheless, the race has resumed. Ardell holding the lead ahead of Carlos, ahead of No Limit, ahead of Bullet. Then comes Vo, Skeppy, Black's Carnival. Zach with a great start. He's up to 9th from last on the grid. And Solar rounding out the top 10. So far, everyone just kind of spread out a little bit. We're going to look over the battle for PA as Zach is slowly starting to close in onto the back of Cold Carnival. He's quite a ways away. There's also a bit of a battle forming between Bullet and Vo. We'll go into that in just a second. So far, everyone just a little bit spread out now, which is good. And Bad Bunny, unfortunately, all the way down to P16 due to a wing change. Ardell starting to extend his gap a little bit.
I just saw Bullet coming out of turn. Oh, and again in the final corner, just losing the rear of the car on traction. Oh, I'm just gonna get him.
Here comes Vo. His Potato's retired.
What happened?
That is a crash at the final corner, and that's another virtual safety car. Try to get a look at what happened. I'm not sure if I'd actually get it, but it depends how long that Alpine is there. But Potato crashing out at the final corner. I believe he just potentially lost traction. And the car's gone. Well, never mind.
The same thing.
Yeah, I just saw that, but yeah, that is the virtual safety car that's called out. That's already the second safety car, I guess, of this race, and we're not even at the end of lap 3.
Coming from someone who did this race last night, Bullet, the track is not the wall, sir.
Did he hit the wall?
Yeah, he did. I don't see any damage, though, so I'm assuming it was just a love tap. Well,
maybe if they didn't give me a helicopter view, I would know.
Right. But coming from someone who did a Tier 3 wet race last night, this track is really tricky to get power down on the slow speed corners. And you have to do it so gently as we go back to racing again. You have to do it so gently and so precisely to the point where you're in like 5th gear and half throttle to 3/4 throttle before you're like being able to put it full throttle and putting on ERS.
Yeah, it's definitely very tricky to put down the power here in Australia. It's even more tricky, especially when you're in the wet. That's Cole Carnival into the pits, by the way. I think that might be front wing damage for the Alpha Man. We're gonna go over to him. Is that front wing damage for him? No, it's not front wing damage. So he's just getting a change of tire. Yeah, you're right. It isn't, as Solar's made the move on Zach, and Veyron's now looking for the move on the inside into turn 3. Zach is just going to try and fight around the outside, but Veyron has that inside line. He's able to stay ahead, so Veyron moves himself into P9. Zach down to P, sends Solar up to P8, and there's even more going on further back as Ron has made a move on Groggy, and now Ron is up into 12th, and he's got a little bit of a recovery drive after not setting a lap in qualifying. And, well, he's going to want to hope to get closer up to the likes of Veyron, because that's his closest rival right now. But it's obviously early days in the championship, so, we can't exactly call anything yet.
Yeah, exactly. Just looking at the battle for the lead, it's getting pretty close between the top 3 at the moment.
Yeah, it is. Charlo slowly starting to reel in that Alpha? What? Aston Martin in front of him. There are too many A's on the grid, okay? Alpine, AlphaTauri, Alfa Romeo, Aston Martin. Come on. There's too many A's, and there's going to be a 5th A because Audi's joining the grid. And that's the yellow flag, and that's Skeppy!
Oh, no.
That is at the final corner, and this time it is a full course safety car.
What has happened?
This is already the 3rd safety car, and we're not even 10 laps in. What is happening here in Australia?
This literally reminds me of Realistic.
Oh my god, do not remind me of that. That was just a horror show.
I know.
Oh, well, the safety car. Oh, the safety car just nearly swerved into Veyron. I saw the safety car swerve to try and get out of everyone's way to let them know that, you could pass because the leader's not caught up. But nearly went into the side of Veyron as a result of it. But luckily, nothing happened between Veyron and the safety car, and while Veyron's still here, he's still in P8, so that's definitely good to see. But the safety car is out on lap 5. Being honest here, I don't really suspect many drivers to pit. By the way, you lied. It is raining. It's still raining.
I said it was still raining.
You said it stopped.
I did, and then I said, oh, never mind.
Oh, I didn't catch it, never mind, but okay. I only heard that it stopped raining.
I literally said it while you were mid-sentence, so that's probably why.
Well, that would be it!
Okay, why are you getting so, like... Okay, you know what?
I'm not.
Nope. Conversation for another time.
Ardell tried to trick Charlos into potentially pitting. As Ardell looked like he was about to go into the pits, but backed out of it. And Smooth saying in the chat that Australia is deadly. Very true.
Do you remember? I don't know if you would remember this. The Geico commercial with the basketball player. You're gonna go through stuff, you'd like swipe him away, and you'd be like, no, no, no. That's like, I don't know. When.
Your mic is cutting out a little bit. I just want to quickly say. Yeah, you're cutting out quite a bit. I'm not sure if that's been caught on stream. I'll just check real quick. Yeah, it's cutting out on stream as well, so it's not just a me thing. Okay, well, you're having issues of your own, but, hopefully that gets sorted real quick. So just looking right now, so we've already had a couple of people pitting in this race, that being Bad Bunny, Solar, Groggy, and Carnival, which Carnival's already made 2 pit stops in this race. So we've already had a couple of people pitting, and now we're just waiting for them to catch up to the safety car. I presume that the safety car should be in by, I believe, next lap? Granted how quickly Carnival catches up. But this is going to bunch up the field once again, and I'm pretty sure that's not exactly what Ardell wanted, because Charles was slowly reeling in that Aston Martin in front. So Charles is going to want to try and jump that Aston and get close so he can potentially make a move. Same with No Limit, same with Bullet and Vo as well. Everyone's going to want to try and jump the car in front of them, and, well, that's kind of the beauty of safety cars in reality, as you could really gain a lot out of this, but we'll just have to see when the safety car comes in next lap. But this is going to be but it's still going to be a survival of the fittest is going to be this race, to put it simply, because we don't know how this track. Well, you know how this track is on interconditions. I definitely don't, but it's going to be.
It's not fun.
It's going to be very tricky. Yeah, I presume it's not fun. And just by looking at everything that's already happened, if it was fun, then what is your definition of fun?
Yeah, it is. Nice.
Once again, you listening to a song while we're here commentating?
I'm always listening to a song, you know? You gotta have the vibes.
I mean, yeah, that's your thing. I just like to keep focused on the action rather than dealing with songs, in my honest opinion.
No, so I have, it's a little iHome speaker. And I have it playing, like, so softly that I can barely hear it. And I can also, like, pay attention to the stream, or the race.
Oh.
I just use it as background noise. That's all I really do.
Fair enough. I mean, obviously it's never picked up on the strat. Not on the strat? On the stream. My God, my word. Okay, nah, I'm giving off.
Pause. Take a breather. Relax for like 2 minutes. Oh, okay.
Safety car is in this lap, by the way.
I tried.
And you failed miserably.
Petra.
That is.
Help.
What's she gonna do? You're stuck here.
I mean, until she gets her mic fixed.
What if it never does?
F.
What if it never does?
F.
You never know. But yeah, hopefully she gets it fixed. We'll just have to see eventually. As Ardell's starting to back up the pack a little bit, and it looks like he's already starting to go. They had a little bit of a moment, though, out of the final corner. That might compromise him a little bit, but the race is now officially resumed once he crosses the line now. And Veyron, yeah, Veyron's already looking to jump the queue. He's alongside Blacks into turn 1. He's going to dive on the inside. Oh, and Vo is also trying to help a little bit. And, well, that's definitely worked out as Veyron's ahead. Ooh. Yeah, he did get a snap, but luckily didn't get into the wall. Black's looking for a move. Zach looking for a move on the inside of Johan Lauren. Looks like he's managed to make that move stick on the Haas, and he has. Meanwhile, Solar's also looking for a move. He's still trying to fight it, though, with Zach on Johan Lauren, and he's managed to get ahead. Solar gets a 3-second as he's actually looking for the move on Johan Lauren, but is now under pressure from Bad Bunny. And they're going wheel to wheel now, down into turn 6. And it looks like Solar is just going to be able to get ahead, and indeed he does. And now the Red Bull is up into 10th. Bad Bunny down to 11th and could be under pressure here from Groggy as well. Same with Cold Carnival as they are going wheel to wheel. Actually, is Cold Carnival and Groggy. Groggy just simply lets the Alfa Romeo by. And Cold Carnival is now up into 12th. Is going to try pressurize, and that's actually Groggy going deep into turn 9. He's gone off the track, has managed to rejoin the track, and luckily hasn't spun out. So he's managed to keep it going, but he's lost a lot of time. And now Carnival's going to dive down the inside. Well, he definitely thinks about it, but nothing doing. And he actually goes a little bit deep, and he will lose quite a bit of time to Bad Bunny. But quite a lot of action already at the end of the safety car restart. But so far, by the looks of it, nothing chaotic.
Yeah, for now. Knock on wood.
Not wrong.
Yeah, it's just, it looks... I mean, my eyes are deceiving me because I know it's not, but it almost looks like it's not Johan track place. Whoa, Zach, whoa!
Oh! Big snap there from the Mercedes, but he's managed to keep it on the track. But
like
Solar is going to try and overtake Johan Laura.
Zach,
and that's Zach going deep, and that's going to allow Johan Laura to go around the outside.
Whoa.
He leaves Zach the respect and the space and gets ahead. Solar's going to take opportunity, and I think Bad Bunny might also take opportunity as well. Zach losing 2 positions in just a couple of corners, and he might lose another, but he's going to manage to stay ahead of the AlphaTauri for the time being. But Zach looking to be struggling here in the Australian Grand Prix. The tires are just not gripping up the way he wants.
That corner especially right there, of course, you come out of that corner in, I want to say 5th, maybe 6th gear, and then you put the power down and you think you're going to be fine. Who is that cutting the track? Johan.
Meanwhile, that's No Limit going to try and dive down the inside on Charlos into turn 11. There's a yellow flag for the back, but No Limit's going to make the move, but Charlos does the switch back, and Charlos has managed to hold on to 2nd place for the time being. It was just a little bit too deep into the corner, and No Limit will just have to settle for 3rd for now.
I just watched Johan completely cut turns 9 and 10. I just want to point that out real quick. Or maybe
he's lost a position to Cold Carnival as well, so that's definitely
Zach,
not on the way
there's
that
a
the Haas
broken
wanted.
link somewhere. I think so. Yeah, it is.
Is that Solar? Well, Zach's losing places. Zach's losing places right now, and yet that is Solar. He has completely lost his front wing. So his front wing's completely dislodged. Johan Laura gets a 3-second time penalty, and that's not going to help his race. That's already the 2nd driver in this race to get a 3-second time penalty. Well, technically 3, but Potato has crashed out. So,
we just shoot the man while he's down, bro.
I mean, I didn't really want to mention it, but I kind of had to.
You were going to mention it, or I was. One of the two.
You're not wrong, as Solar gets overtaken by Bad Bunny and Zach, and yeah, he's going to definitely pit in, he's definitely going to pit on this lap. Meanwhile, for the battle for the 2nd is going to commence, as No Limit's going to be on the inside into turn 9. There's a bit of contact between the drivers. There's even more contact. That's the Williams around. Charlos around. No Limit's off the track. Is that damage for the McLaren? Doesn't look to be it, but Charlos is off. Has managed to rejoin the track, but he's got damage now. That's going to allow Bullet, Veyron to move up into 2nd, 3rd, and 4th respectively. Now, No Limit, though, is trying to challenge Veyron for 3rd, and it looks like he's going to be able to get the move done. Indeed, he does. The McLaren back up into 4th, Veyron down to 5th. But side by side through the fast chicane, it just wasn't going to work, was it?
No, it never usually does. You know, these guys gotta realize there's a long race ahead of you. You know, you can't be making moves like that in the early stages of this race, because either A, you're gonna end up crashing, or B, you're gonna end up crashing your rival, and then, you know, you're obviously gonna have some changes. But I can see if it was like the last 2 laps or something like that, you know, you're pushing, okay, hold on a minute.
As that's Johan Laura diving down the inside on Cold Carnival. The battle for P9 starting to commence a little bit. There's actually a battle for P2 going on as well, as Vos managed to get ahead of Bullet into turn 6, I believe. Or is that... Honestly, I don't know my corners anymore, but I think that is turn 6. Yes, it is. So, and that's actually No Limit getting ahead of Bullet, and that's also Veyron.
Actually, no.
What's going on with the Red Bull?
I think that's turn 7, actually.
I'm not sure. I'm looking at the track map, it's saying turn 6. So, we move, but Bullet losing quite a few positions now in this race. Is something happening to that Red Bull? There isn't any damage, by the looks of it, but he's losing a lot of pace, and he might lose another place as Blacks is trying to go around the outside into turn 11, but just simply not going to be able to make it work. But that Red Bull seems to be struggling a little bit now.
I'm wondering if he's just not getting the heat in the tires. You know, obviously, intermediate tires, you know, you gotta run in a cool or a wet patch to cool the tires down. But I don't know. I can't see his dash properly because it's all pixelated. But I just don't think he's got the heat in the tires to try to push.
Quite possibly, I'm not sure. By the way, Ardell set the fastest lap of the race with a 1:29.4.
Oh,
and the Aston Martin kind of in a comfortable gap, but that's Johan Laura out of the race. That's at the exit turn 2, and that is another full course safety car. And actually, the way he crashed was kind of interesting because it looked like he was at the escape road.
Yeah, he lost control or lost
the rear.
Yeah.
Just looking over at that crash, and yeah, you can see it. He's parked pretty much at the escape road. Are you sure that's a safety car? He's in a safe position, technically.
I mean, when Roman Grosjean parked there, I think it was 2018? That still brought out a safety car. I believe so,
yes. Yeah, you got a point, so never mind. Maybe it was warrant of a safety car. Nonetheless, though, that is the Haas out of this race. We've already lost 4 drivers, and we're not even halfway through this race. But now the safety car is going to start to... Is that anything new? Now, who's going to go into the pits now? Because you don't technically have to pit in this race, because that's not a part of the allocation in the wet. It looks like Ardell, Vo not pitting. Well, Bullet's definitely going to pit. Same with Blacks as well. And does anybody else? Well, Bad Bunny does, as my cursor's kind of broken. There we go. So I think only 3 drivers are going to pit, unless maybe Ron follows suit. No, he doesn't. No, he does. Never mind. So Ron also into the pits as well. So 4 drivers opting to pit. And, well, they're going to be on a fresh set of intros to the end of this race. And that might pay dividends. So in the fact we've already used 4 safety cars. And, well, I think there might only be a limit of 5 safety cars. So this could theoretically benefit them. There goes my co-commentator.
I'm talking to an old racing buddy of mine and was my race engineer once upon a time about F1 Manager. So, yeah.
What are your thoughts on that, by the way? Do you think it's a good game? Because I definitely think it is.
I mean, it's a good game, yes. You know, definitely down the road, they do have to make some minor detail fixes. But like, yeah, it's a good game. I like it. It definitely helps you pass the time.
How does it ever?
I'm already in FP3 Australia, so
Oh, I'm at the race at Imola.
well, you know, I haven't been, you know, no-lifing the game like you have.
I know someone who's in the next season at around Canada. Do you think I'm no-lifing it?
Like, how often?
Yeah,
like, how much
I'm not even
game
close.
to get in the next season at Canada already?
Don't have a job, don't have school. I don't know. Probably something like that. By the way, that's Veyron into the pits. So Veyron has opted to pit on this lap, and as I mentioned before, for those that have already pitted, the chance of a safety car, actually, that's front wing damage. Maybe he did get damage from that contact between himself and Johan Laura. Yeah, he is on medium.
Oh, so was that Bullet leaving, right?
Yeah, that was Bullet. Yep.
Okay. I thought I saw someone else leave too, but I just wanted to make sure it was just Bullet.
See, I'm not sure what Veyron's thought process is here, because if you look at the track, it's very damp, but no, never mind, it is raining. Never mind. It's still raining.
Well,
so...
I'm wondering if he's thinking if he got a message from Mark saying rain is ending Because
Is he
it's
potentially
not,
thinking
it's
that?
not really
Is he
raining
potentially
right now,
thinking? Yeah, that's true. Is he potentially thinking that the safety car might stay out to the point where it will stop raining,
Well, so
and the track will start drying up?
if he catches safety car now, the latest the safety car can call it is the penultimate corner, which is turn 14, I believe. That's the latest the safety car can call it. So I'm thinking maybe there's 2 laps of racing. I don't.
Let's have to see. He seems to be understeering a lot, so I'm not entirely sure by this call right now. He is catching up to the safety car, though, so luckily for him, he will catch up, and the safety car is in this lap. And I'm just looking at the track right now.
Well, this is make or break right now, though.
I don't think it's gonna work. If I'm being perfectly honest, I don't think it's gonna work. The track just seems a little bit too damp to really try that. Try that type of strategy. We'll just have to see if it pays off later on, as Ardell's trying to back up the pack a little bit as they're going 2 and 2. Is this NASCAR? No, it's not. It's Formula 1 as we're getting ready to race once again. Ardell leads them from No Limit. No Limit got a pretty good jump on the Ferrari. He's going to potentially go for the move on the inside into turn 1, and he does make the move. So No Limit is now up into second place, going down to third, and he... Oh, that is Carnival. That's the Alfa Romeo round. Well, not fully around, because he's managed to keep it on the track, but he's going to lose a ton of positions. He's actually lost a front wing. So he's lost his front wing as a result of it. Meanwhile, battles further up, as that's Bullet and Bad Bunny, and the 2 Mercedes have swapped. That's Zach going off the track. Bad Bunny going around the outside of Zach. So does Charlos. Charlos goes off the track as a result of it. And unfortunately, he might have to get that place back. I'm not entirely sure, but Bullet gets ahead of Zach. Zach is down to 10th and could be under pressure from the other Red Bull of Solar behind as Ron managed to get past Cole Carnival, since obviously Cole Carnival has front wing damage.
Urgent news, it's not raining.
Oh yeah, it isn't. It's not raining. And Veyron, he's 1.5 off of Cole Carnival right now. So he is potentially losing time, as that's a move for P4. Blacks has managed to get ahead of Groggy, and that is the Mercedes up into 4th. So the Mercedes looking pretty racy on this restart, and he's moved himself back up into the top 4 places. Groggy down to 5th, and Groggy might be under pressure from all those fresh drivers behind him. If we look over at the tire location, yeah, everyone behind him at least 4 or less laps on those inters, except for Zach. He's done 14 laps. Same with Cole Carnival. He's going to go into the pits. But a bit of a crazy, I guess, race start to this race. But only one driver, unfortunately, got the mishaps of it, that being Cole Carnival. By the way, Veyron has lost a ton of time to Ron ahead, so the gamble has not worked out for Veyron, and I don't think Cole Carnival exactly saw that. No, the track is drying, as you mentioned before, and I think Charlos had a little bit of a moment there, because he had a little bit of a weird entry line into turn 5. It's okay for now, though, but so far, everyone's just kind of in a DRS train now between Groggy and those behind as Solar makes the move on Zach, as Zach is just falling back. And meanwhile, further up ahead, that's Bad Bunny and Charlos going at it, and I believe Charlos has just managed to get ahead of the AlphaTauri, sorry. And he does, so he is up into 6th and could be challenging Groggy for 5th in just a couple of corners here, because that Williams looking very quick in this race.
Yeah, I just want to wait and see. Wow, look how much he gained on Groggy through that one corner. Wow, okay.
He gained like 3/10.
You think he's driving like a madman.
But he's keeping it on the track. So it's working, though he's losing a bit of time now. So it's not entirely working out. Oh, that's a bit of a moment for Groggy, and that is the AlphaTauri in the wall. That is Bad Bunny. He's in the wall and has no front wing. Blacks with the fastest lap of the race. Charlos gets ahead of Groggy. Groggy, I don't think he got any front wing damage from that moment, so he's able to keep on going. But Bad Bunny, losing his entire front wing, is now going to be overtaken by Solar in just a couple seconds' time. Solar on the inside into turn 3. going to be an easy move there for the Red Bull, and indeed it is. Meanwhile, battle for P6 commencing as Bullet's on the inside of Groggy. Groggy just simply lets the Red Bull by, and Bullet is now up into 6th. Groggy down to 7th. Groggy just not quite having the pace to challenge, really.
Yeah, I think 6 was like a little bit of an early call right here.
I mean, he's already 22 seconds behind the next guy is Veyron. Meanwhile, battle for the lead. We might get a little bit of battle here. No Limit closing in on Ardell into turn 11. Is he going to look for a move? No, he isn't. But he is very, very close to the back of the Aston Martin. The Aston Martin of Ardell, he's looked pretty strong this entire race. This is really the first time this entire race that he's been under pressure from a driver, and this time it is No Limit that is giving pressure. That he's just able to get good runs through Sector 3. That seems to be helping the Aston Martin here.
Yeah, he's just got the better line and the better stability through the third sector, like you were saying. As Foge gets the time penalty, and that's 2 other cars in the pits of Groggy and Bad Bunny. Well, Bad Bunny had damage. See what Groggy does.
Yeah, Bad Bunny definitely had damage.
Well, okay. What was that bid release? Bad Bunny on mediums as well.
It just seems a bit early, doesn't it? It just seems a bit too early.
There's no clear racing line right now.
I mean, there is, but it's not dry enough. Well, I mean, meh.
I mean,
kind of.
It's so.
Yeah, so pretty much. By the way, I forgot to mention, Blocks set the fastest lap of the race once again, so that Mercedes is looking very quick in the stages of the race. Meanwhile, battle for P1 could be closing in as No Limit's looking for the move. Ardelli is going to go for the move into the fast chicane. He did this before. He's going to try it again, and this time around, they managed to get through safely. Ardell managing to stay ahead of the McLaren. The McLaren is challenging once again into turn 11. Is he going to dive on the inside? Yes, he is. Ardell, though, breaks a little bit later, and he's able to stay ahead. That is the AlphaTauri Bad Bunny around. Ardell holding the lead still from No Limit, and that is not what the McLaren wants, though the Ferrari might be wanting, the Ferrari Vo might be wanting a little bit more of this because he is all over the back of these guys.
Yeah, he's got a nice front row seat to this and the battery to play with as you look at the steering wheel.
Blacks once again. Lap. I tell you what, that Mercedes is looking very quick. On the
inside of turn 1, he's going to get it done.
Yep, good move there from the Williams, and he's moved himself back up into the top 5.
Turn 3, a little bit of contact.
And just keep it on the track. Ardell trying to keep it on the inside. No, we're going around the inside. That's contact. That is contact. Could that be wing damage there for the Aston Martin? I'm not sure. But that has made him fall all the way down to P3 and potentially P4 as Blacks is all over the back of the Aston Martin as well. But just trying to give absolutely everything and just a little bit of contact. That's not what they wanted, but No Limit now into the lead of this race as Bo is slowly trying to close in on that McLaren into for the lead of this race. But obviously, Vo with that 3-second time play, that's definitely going to hurt him. He is in the slipstream, though, of that McLaren. Could he potentially have a look? No, he doesn't. Stays behind. Ardell managing to stay ahead of Blacks and is going to try and catch up to the 2 in front of him.
Yeah, obviously the guys ahead of Blacks haven't pitted yet off of these inters, so they're worrying a little bit as Ardell is
that's Ardell in the pits. Yeah, that's Ardell into the pits. And looking over the tires, yeah, you're right. So obviously Blacks only has 7 laps on those inters, and the ones in front of them have 19 laps. Charlos with the fastest lap of the race. So the Williams also looking pretty racy as well. Ardell, no front wing change for the Aston Martin. He's gone on to a set of mediums. And same with Cole Carnival. Cole Carnival's gone on to a set of softs here. So he can potentially try and just give absolutely everything potentially for a fast lap, but we'll have to see if that plays dividends. Right now, before that, the closest guy to the inter runners, as that's Charlos of the 3-second time play. The closest driver to those on inters was Groggy, and that's Ardell off the track. And yeah, I just don't think it's time for inters yet.
Yeah.
I mean, inters, sorry, mediums. Slicks? Yes. It's not time for slicks right now. Meanwhile, going back over to the lead, Vo still pressurizing the McLaren of No Limit. And No Limit just able to stay ahead of that Ferrari for now. But the Ferrari is closing in. He's having a look on the outside. But the McLaren just simply covers him off. As that McLaren's just a little bit too far ahead by the time they reach the apex. And that Ferrari probably a little bit frustrated here because he knows he has that 3-second. And it's hurting him because he can... I doubt that. I honestly doubt that. Barely. Barely. It's definitely no longer raining, and there's no longer droplets on the car. Meanwhile, Vo, he sets the fastest lap before taking away, but he's going to go for the lead into turn 1. No Limit, able to keep around the outside. That might have been a bit of contact there. It's definitely a rear-end squirrel, and here comes Blacks on the inside. He takes opportunity of the Ferrari having a little bit of a moment. Now he's trying to defend from the Ferrari, but there's nothing he can do. Blacks has now moved himself into second place.
Yeah, obviously Black's on those fresh
looking good.
Yeah, on those fresh intermediates. But the question is, how quickly is this track going to dry up?
I'm not entirely sure. It's really down to the delta between Ron and Ardell in this race, in which right now it's picking up a little bit as Zach gets a 3-second time penalty, and that could potentially lose him a place as Ron is just barely outside of that. Blacks, though, having a little bit of a moment there through the chicane, losing a bit of time there. Actually, well, not really. He's under pressure, though, from Vo behind, but nothing so far. And Blacks just able to stay ahead of that Ferrari. If you think about it, though, Blacks might be sitting pretty, to put it simply, because those tires on No Limit. And speaking of No Limit, that's Bullet out of the race. I think that Vo just had a bit of a moment.
And that's a safety car.
That is a safety car. Oh. This is going to hurt Blacks. Safety car has just come out, and he's ahead of the Mercedes. Oh, no. Is he getting the drive-through penalty for speed? What? He was stopped. He was stopped on the track.
That's insult to injury game.
He's practically stopped, and now he's behind the... It was looking perfect for the Mercedes. And now it hasn't worked out, and what has happened to the Alfa Romeo? He's stopped on the track. Ardell gets a drive-through penalty. What is... Hello?
For speeding, he was
What is happening? He was.
Game broken. It's broken. Lando Norris,
I mean, that's nothing
2018
new.
game GIF.
That's nothing new. Let's be real.
Yeah, this is true.
Well, then again, the safety car is a little weird. If I'm being perfectly honest, the safety car is weird in this game. But now, with this, everyone, just looking at the track, it's bone dry now. I just want to quickly say, it's pretty much bone dry on this track now. And I would presume that everyone is going to pit onto a set of slicks, which is what exactly everyone has done, except for Blacks, because unfortunately he was just caught at the wrong time. So everyone's going to bunch up behind the safety car once again, the 5th and final safety car. Knock on wood. Well, then again, there is a limit, so maybe not knock on wood, because this is definitely going to be the last one.
Well, so, and the thing is, I think once we hit lap 24, even if we're under safety car. Carnival with tires.
He's crashed. He's crashed at turn 10 there. Not sure what's happened.
But I think, see, lap 24 or lap 25, if there's not a limit, there wouldn't be a safety car anyways, because we're at that that 90% part.
That is very true. Black's into the pits now, and his race has pretty much gone from bad to worse. He's on a set of softs now, is the Mercedes, but he has that drive-through. And, well, it was looking so good, and it's just not gone well. And Black's saying in the chat that the game is trash. Well, your words, not mine, but it definitely has a couple of bugs here and there.
Yeah, the Cardinals beat them today. Woo!
What?
Baseball. Don't worry about it.
Oh. Well, I mean, I don't watch that, so you talk about your thing. So, but going over, let's just look over at the tires real quick. So, everyone obviously is on the slicks now, unsurprisingly, but Vo, Solar, and Ardell, they have all opted to go on to a set of mediums. But the rest have gone on to a set of softs, which is very interesting, because the softs do die out really quickly, but we are going to have only a handful of laps of racing. So that is definitely something to watch out for, how these soft runners are really going to try and jump the pack. Looking over at time penalties, and well, from 2nd down to 5th, all have a time penalty in this race, that being Vo, Charlos, Solar, and Zach. And 7th and 8th, that being Ardell and Blacks, unfortunately have a drive-through. But, yeah, it's just super unfortunate, the fact that they got that drive-through, because it just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
They were practically stopped. We saw it on both drivers. They were stopped on the track pretty much, and it still said that they were speeding. So, I ain't so sure about that. And, I think that's Ardell. I'm like 90% sure he's saying he's not serving his drive-through. And, well, can't say I exactly blame you, considering, but
the thing
you get disqualified as a result of it.
Yeah, this thing is, you can't serve a drive-through under safety car, which is kind of dumb, in my opinion, but...
Well, no, I kind of get the reason for it, though, because technically, the point of a drive-through is you're supposed to lose that time, whereas when it comes to a safety car, you're only really losing positions, and you can just gain that time back. So I kind of understand why. It just practically nullifies it, if you think about it. So
yeah, but like, it'd be so much more like fair to the drivers.
Yeah, not wrong. But it's just the way that the penalty system works. That's really all it is. It's just simply how it works, as everyone is catching up to the safety car, I believe. That doesn't look to be the case. I thought for a second that those in the mediums, that before the safety car was called out, would be lapped, but luckily for them, it hasn't been the case, as Veyron has caught up to the pack. Safety car is in this lap, so we are going to get 5 laps of racing. It's a 5-lap sprint, so anyone who has done a lot of 5-lappers around the Australian Grand Prix might benefit here. But yeah, a 5-lap sprint, 3 laps of DRS as a result of it, and we'll see who can come out on top. No limit. Currently, the only man in the top 5 that doesn't have a 3-second time penalty. Ron doesn't have a time penalty, so he can potentially benefit if he stays on the back of this pack. We'll just have to see. It's going to be an entertaining one for sure, as we're going to go over to the front of this queue. No limit. It is his decision as to when they will go, and it looks like he's already going to go now, and indeed he has. So the race is now going to soon get underway as soon as they cross the start-finish straight, which is going to be right now. So the race is now officially resumed, and everyone's just kind of evenly spread out already. No Limit leads from Vo, from Charles, from Solar, and Zach the Beast rounding out the top 5. And already, I think Blacks may potentially be looking for a move on Ardell into turn 3. He's going wheel-to-wheel, but actually stays behind now. He's going to dive on the inside into turn 3. Nearly hits the back. Well, Veyron hits the back of Ardell. That might be wing damage there for the Ferrari. But the Aston Martin has now fallen down to P9, maybe even P10. But Blacks has moved himself up into 7th and can potentially have a look for 6th as he's on the back of Ron. No, he doesn't. Stays behind and now can potentially be under pressure here from Veyron. Now Veyron's just a little bit too far back. Now Blacks trying to go around the outside on the McLaren. Does so. So Ron is there, and now is Ron's actually lost 2 positions now. As Veyron has now made the move on the McLaren. And potentially look for a move on Blacks here. No, he doesn't. He's going to stay behind for now. But Veyron looking to make up for that mistaken strategy, and he's all over the back of Blacks. He's going to dive on the inside into turn 11. The Mercedes gives him enough space, but Veyron doesn't. Hits the Mercedes off the track. He's moved himself up into 6th place.
Also, Volgen and Charlo swapped positions, so just want to point that out real quick.
Oh, did they? I didn't even. I completely missed that.
We both did, because I was watching the battle while you were commentating it. Oh, Ardell's
fair enough.
Move on Ron going down the straight. What's gonna happen here? Oh boy.
It's 2-2 pretty much right now. Is unable to make a move, and that's front wing damage there for Bad Bunny, I believe. And indeed it is. Ardell goes wide as a result of it. Bad Bunny now up into 9th. Groggy up into 10th in this race. Groggy has been real silent, but he's now up into the points paying positions. And he is going to gain another point, you know, because obviously Black's with that drive through. But it's all unraveled for the pole sitter. It's all unraveled for Mercedes. Well, not Mercedes, but Black's for sure. But, yeah, all right. A lot of chaos, to put it simply. But Groggy in the points. Bad Bunny up to P9. Ron down to P8. Ron just doesn't look to have the pace right now. He is struggling. He doesn't have front wing damage, but it's just not... He doesn't have the Mercedes hooked up by the looks of it.
Yeah, Veyron pushing. He's trying to catch the back ahead, trying to get something back out of this race.
So far, the top 6 really are just kind of separate, just kind of equally separated in a way. No Limit just pulling away from absolutely everyone, and I would not be surprised if we see a fastest lap for him by the time he crosses the line. Is it? Indeed it is. So No Limit with the fastest lap of this race. Okay. Could it be? Yes, it does. Veyron into the 20s. 1 minute 20.6. So
Ardell.
My words, and that is Ardell disqualified for ignoring the drive-through penalty. He said he wasn't going to do it. He didn't, and that is the result of it. So now, with that, Ardell has now officially been disqualified. So everyone that at least finishes this race now is going to get a point. But honestly, I kind of don't blame him for not serving that drive-through because it was definitely very unfair. So he was practically stopped.
Yeah, but he... Yeah, but you gotta serve it regardless. I understand it's frustrating, but come on, man.
Is what it is, kinda. But meanwhile, battle for P4 about to commence a little bit as Zach is on the back of Solar, and actually Solar goes a little bit deep and actually cuts the corner as well. Zach, does he have DRS? Yes, he does. He's closing in on the back of that Red Bull. The Red Bull actually is low on ERS. Zach down the inside into turn 11 and not able to make a move, and he makes contact there, and he actually makes more contact. Veyron hitting the back of the Mercedes, and it's gone all wrong for the 2. Zach down to 7th. Veyron down to 9th.
Whoa,
just not able. Oh, is that Vo? That is Vo! Vo having a moment at the final corner. He's spun round, and he's gone from 3rd down to 4th. That's going to promote Solar into 3rd place in this race as we're on the penultimate lap on this race, by the way. I'm not sure how it's already commenced to that, but meanwhile, battle for P4 about to commence as Ron looking for a move on Vo. A little bit of contact there between the 2, but Ron, out of absolutely nowhere, has now moved himself up into 4th place in this race. Now, I'm not sure. He still has front wing damage, as I want to quickly mention. And that's Solar! That's Solar! Solar around, and that's gonna promote Ron up into the podium places. Ron has been absolutely silent, and now here he is. It's a double McLaren podium as it stands at the moment. What is happening here in Australia?
My mind is blown, and I'm lost for words. Well,
so am I, as Veyron has made the move on Groggy. He's going to look for a move on Bad Bunny around the outside of the chicane, but Bad Bunny able to stay ahead of that Ferrari for now, but they're all going to have DRS. But Veyron significantly has more ERS. He's going to go on the inside into turn 11, and he's going to make that move stick. Bad Bunny trying to hang around the outside. There's contact between the 2. What is happening? I'm not sure what's actually happening. That might have been a bit of net code. I'm not sure. That might have been a bit of net code. But Veyron has moved himself up into 5th. Bad Bunny up into 6th. Groggy in 7th. And remember, all 3 of these guys do not have a time penalty, so they're still going to benefit from Vo not having one. But the end of this race has really provided something, that's for sure. Yeah. As Bad Bunny now could potentially have a look on Veyron. No, he doesn't. He's going to stay behind. He's going to stay behind of the Ferrari. And we'll just simply take P6. I'm at a loss for words.
I was going to say.
And that's Zach getting a 3-second time penalty. And that has actually ruined this race. Groggy with a 3-second time penalty. And, well, any benefits of gaining from the penalty of Vo has now just gone out the window. But out of all this, out of all the chaos, out of everything that's pretty much happened, somehow, at the end of all this, No Limit at the end of this race has kept it extremely calm and quiet. He's done exactly what he needed to do. He's had a little bit of wars with other drivers, but nonetheless, though, he's managed to come off with no front wing damage. He nailed the strategy, and No Limit comes across the line, and he will win the Australian Grand Prix. Carlos will take second place in this race. A great recovery from the Williams. Ron, out of absolutely nowhere, from P16 on the grid, is going to take third here in Australia. Veyron will take fourth. Bad Bunny, fifth. Vo, sixth. Groggy will finish seventh. Solar, eighth. Zach, ninth. And NGT Blacks will round out the top 10. What a mad end to the Australian Grand Prix. And it's ended with quite a day for McLaren. No Limit takes the win. Ron, driver of the day, and third place. A double McLaren podium here in Australia, with a Williams filling out the second place spot. Holy. What a race that was. And it's ended off with No Limit taking the win here in I almost said Saudi Arabia. Wow. Anyways, he takes the win here in Australia. I assume you will be inviting the drivers here for interviews. But No Limit will win here in Australia ahead of Carlos and Ron, rounding out the top 3 from P16 on the grid. It was a bit of an unexpected recovery drive, but it was a recovery drive nonetheless. Veyron will take fourth in this race and the fastest lap, so he'll gain that extra point. Bad Bunny will finish in fifth ahead of Vo. Then it's Groggy in seventh, Solar in eighth, Blacks in ninth, and Zach rounding out the top 10. And we lost Bullet, Cold Carnival, Johan Laura, Skeppy, Potato, Wingo, and Ardell disqualifying himself from the race. What a race it was. And well, I'm simply at a loss for words, as I believe 2 out of 3 of our drivers have joined us here for interviews. So I think we could just quickly get this underway. So Redeemer, take us away here, Ron Swanson for P3.
Yeah, Ron, definitely you came out of nowhere. Obviously not qualifying, and then starting P16 and finishing P3, you know, what were your thoughts going into qualifying and then into the race?
My thoughts going into qualifying were, don't do anything. I didn't have a wet setup, and my biggest struggle with this game is lack of rear grip, and if it was going to rain, I knew it was going to be a no-go, but it was supposed to dry up. So I was like, yo, I'll just sit in the back all day, let everyone else like wreck themselves, and then I'll win the race or maybe even get a podium. And I thought I was going to do that on that last restart when I had the softs on, but I just kept getting touched from the back every corner. Like, I just kept getting touched by guys behind me who were trying to push. Like, I had 2 people behind me who had a drive-through penalty. I think it was Ardell and Blackwater, and they were racing me like a dog. I was like, what the heck, man? You gotta go through pit lane? But, no, it ended up working out because, what, 4, 5 people bended in front of me? Like, I think the Ferrari, someone took Zach out, it looked like. They were both wrecked. I got by them. Went to the next corner, I got like 2 other people, and then I got third. But a good race. I didn't do anything, but I got a finish because I needed it to dry up, and it didn't even dry up really enough. I still, like, besides for the last 4 laps, I really had no rear end, and then on the last lap I was just taking it easy because the guy behind me had a 3 seconds, so I didn't care if he passed me or not. But it was just yeah, I don't know, it was a boring race. I hate that it rained, but hey, I got a finish, and it was McLaren double podium, yay. Yeah, alright. Any questions, Minico?
I thought Redeemer was gonna ask that. Okay, you're just going straight off the bat. Well, yeah, you definitely do. Nonetheless, though, with what this entire race was, nonetheless, though, you grab that podium and you also extend your lead in the championship. Going into Imola, do you think this is really just a good thing to start off with, having this lead quite early in the championship? Do you think you could possibly just hold on to this?
No. Uh, I don't know.
Why,
It all,
straight off the bat.
depends, bro. It depends on what I do, and I don't think I'm the fastest person here. It just so happens that I'm like one of the only people here who've actually finished. My worst finish is 4th. That race I shouldn't even have gotten 4th. I barely ran in the top 10, let alone in the points. But because someone binned it, I got it. Last race, I think I was a podium car. That was like my best race, even though that's one of my worst tracks. And just it so happened that pretty much everyone I feel like was faster than me binned it. Like I felt like at the end there I was the 2nd place car, and then Voj just wrecked himself. And then today, I literally had no pace in the rain. I had a little bit more pace, I think like top 10 pace in when it was drying up, and I just lucked into a podium because no one else wanted it.
I mean, that was pretty much what happened. No one really wanted the podium. Every time when someone was in 3rd, they span out or something. But, yeah, nonetheless, though, you're just one of the few that's able to pick up the pieces and just keep it consistent.
My career.
And, well, that's exactly why you're in this position. Yeah, exactly. It's your career, and it's exactly why you're in this position. Nonetheless, though, you grab a podium, your 2nd podium in a row, so congratulations to you. Redeemer, do you have any extra questions for Ron?
You're gonna ask me about next week?
No, because you already
I
answered
did
the
that.
question.
No, I didn't answer about next week. You talked about the championship. You didn't talk about Imola.
Well,
And
you're
said
gonna
going
answer the
into
question.
Imola.
Oh, I'm
Anyways.
sorry. Okay, well, I didn't actually say how I'd do there. Is there a sprint race? Yeah, I didn't even know.
I think that's
pretty
only a realistic
it's
thing.
only realistic? Shit. I said that during the tier 1 chat. Dang it. I just said that.
Yeah, I think it's only a realistic type thing.
Alright,
not
whatever.
for
Whoops.
equal
But
tiers.
yeah, no, I think I'll do decent in Imola. I've won there before. I've never finished off the podium there, but who knows? This game's different. Okay, bye.
Yeah, different challenge nonetheless. But yeah. Once again, congratulations to you on your 3rd place. And unfortunately, Charlos is not able to join us here tonight, but he still managed to grab a P2, so well done to him. With that, though, we shall now move on to the winner of the Australian Grand Prix, and, well, I'll just simply say the word, wow. What an Australian Grand Prix that was, and No Limit, you were there pretty much the entire race, and with that, despite a couple of hiccups here and there, you still managed to grab the win here in Australia. Tell us your thoughts on that.
Shit. First of all, my quality is garbage. I invalidated twice. I expected to drop down to at least P10, knowing how quick everybody is, but it was just P5. I had pretty good ring pace, and then I got spun, which was pretty annoying. Came back. Like, I don't even know what happened, bro. That was just a race with so much chaos in it. But yeah, it feels good to win.
Yeah, a lot of chaos it was indeed, and well, you managed to survive it all, and you grabbed the win here in Australia. And of course, a McLaren double podium, which was also which is also a bonus for McLaren. Yeah, which definitely helps in the Constructors' Championship. Next week, though, we go over to the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix in Imola. Do you think that you can challenge for the top spot once again, or do you maybe expect that to be a little bit of a laid-back race? What are your thoughts?
What is it, Imola, you said?
Yes.
Ah, shoot. My quality is good in Imola. My race pace is okay, so we'll see. I'll try, though. I'll try.
Yeah, we'll just definitely have to see in just a week's time. Redeemer, do you have any questions for No Limit?
Negative.
Alright, with that then, that is going to quickly wrap up Tier 2 for us tonight. And once again, congratulations to No Limit on the win, and Charlos and Ron for 2nd and 3rd place, respectively. And like I said, that is everything for Tier 2 and for BRL this week, but be sure to tune in a few days' time on Thursday for the realistic tier, starting with realistic, of course, at Imola, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Then on Friday, we've got Tier 3. Then on Saturday, we've got Tier 1 first. And then we are here once more. Same drivers, same motivation, but a different challenge every week, as it usually is. But from Redeemer and I, that is everything. Good day, good night. See you in a few days' time for Realistic.